بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي بحمده تستطيب النعم، والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنام محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، صاحب السموخية وثقافية عريقة ومتواصلة منذ أقدم العصور، هذه الروابط الثقافية بين البلدين علاقات تواصل ازدهارها باستمرار حتى اليوم، وازداد هذا العمق في العلاقات بين البلدين الصديقين حضرة صاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق المعظعة إلى جمهورية الهند ولقائه مع القيادة الهندية، الأمر الذي رسخ إلى مستقبل واعد يجمع سلطنة عمان وجمهورية الهند، استناداً إلى مشتركات تعززها المصالح المتبادلة. حفلنا الكريم إنه من دواعي سرورنا أن نجتمع ها هنا في مسقط في منتدى الاستثمار العماني الهندي، حيث تتلاقى الأفكار والفرص والشراكات لتعزيز النمو الاقتصادي بين البلدين الصديقين سلطنة عمان وجمهورية الهند. Praise be to Allah, and peace and blessings prevail upon His Messenger, Prophet Muhammad, and upon his family and companions, and those who follow him. Your Highness, Sayyid Faris bin Fatik bin Fahar Al Saeed, patron of the ceremony, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may the peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah prevail upon you all. Wishing you a delightful morning filled with the rich aroma of Hojari frankincense, blending perfectly with the sweet scent of Omani halwa and the invigorating aroma of coffee. our esteemed patron of this event, the historical and cultural relations between Oman and India have created a deep and lasting bond. This bond was forged through the ancient maritime trade, cultural exchanges, and shared traditions. This strengthened relationship between the two friendly nations has deepened by the state visit of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may Allah protect him, to the Republic of India, and his meeting with the Indian leadership. This visit has paved the way and stabilized it for a promising future that brings together the Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of India, reinforced by mutual interests. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all to the Oman-India Investor Forum, where ideas, opportunities, and partnerships converge to foster economic growth between the two friendly nations, Sultanate of Oman and the Republic of India. صاحب السمو راعي الحفل، يسرني الآن دعوة الدكتور عبد الله بن مسعود الحارثي، عضو مجلس إدارة غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان ورئيس اللجنة الإشرافية للمنتدى، لإلقاء الكلمة الافتتاحية لهذا الملتقى. Esteemed patron of the forum, I would like to extend a warm invitation to Dr. Abdullah bin Masoud al-Harathi, board member of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the chairman of the supervisory committee of the forum, to deliver his speech in Arabic and to translate and summarize his opening remarks in English.
به أجمعين. صاحب السمو السيد فارس بن فيصل بن عبد الله الرواس، رئيس مجلس إدارة غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان، أصحاب السعادة، أيها الحضور الكرام، مسقط العامرة تهديكم السلام. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نود في البداية أن نهنئكم بالعام الميلادي الجديد. جعل الله عام 2024 عام خير وبركة علينا جميعا، ومزيدا من النجاحات والإنجازات بإذن الله. إن العلاقات التاريخية بين سلطنة عمان وجمهورية الهند أتت ثمارها ولاقت دفعة جديدة إثر الزيارة بتنظيم مشترك بين غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان ومعهد المحاسبين القانونيين بجمهورية الهند، ويعتبر أكبر مؤسسة في العالم في هذا المجال، حيث يبلغ عدد الخريجين من 400 ألف محاسب قانوني متوزعين في كافة دول العالم. ويهدف الملتقى إلى تعزيز التبادل التجاري والاستثماري بين البلدين من خلال النهج الاستراتيجي لغرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان المنسجم مع رؤية عمان 2040، وتهدف إلى تحسين بيئة الأعمال وتوسيع قاعدة التنويع الاقتصادي، وأيضا من خلال إمرة كال أكثر الدول في العالم ازدهارا وتقدما ونموا. سيتم بعد قليل البدء بمناقشة عدة أوراق عمل من قبل مهنيين ومحترفين يمثلون جهات مختلفة مثل وزارة التجارة والصناعة وترويج الاستثمار، وزارة الزراعة والثروة السمكية، وزارة النقل والاتصالات، جهاز الاستثمار العماني، وحدة تنفيذ ومتابعة رؤية عمان 2040، مدائن، خزائن، والمنطقة الاقتصادية الخاصة بالدقم. ويستطيع من خلالها المستثمرين من جمهورية الهند استكشاف الفرص الاستثمارية في القطاعات الرئيسية والأساسية، وهي الطاقة، التعدين، السياحة، الأمن الغذائي، التكنولوجيا، التعليم والتدريب والرعاية الصحية. كما نود اليوم أن نعلن عن مبادرة جديدة وهي المحاسب القانوني العماني، حيث تم بالأمس القريب توقيع اتفاقية شراكة استراتيجية بين غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان ومعهد المحاسبين جمهورية الهند، وبدعم وتعاون من جهات حكومية مختلفة ذات الصلة. وحل المرحلة الأولى سيتم استيعاب مشارك من كل ولاية من ولايات السلطنة من مسندم إلى ظفار. أما المرحلة الثانية فسنستهدف مشارك من كل قرية في عمان بإذن الله. في المرحلة الثانية في كل منزل في عمان بإذن الله. وفي الختام لا يسعنا إلا أن نتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لصاحب السمو راعي الحفل على تشريفه لنا ولجميع وشعبه الأبي وسلطانه الوفي. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Highness Sayyid Faris bin Fatik Al Saeed, our Chief Justice, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to welcome all of you to our Oman India Investor Forum, which is organized by Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Institute Chartered Accountants of India, which is the largest in the world. Total graduate around 400,000 chartered accountants working across the globe. This forum aims to support both countries to achieve their vision goals and to increase exchange between Oman and India in trade and investment. Also to allow the India to discover different opportunities in the promotions, Ministry of Telecommunication and Transportation, Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Oman Investment Authority, CZAD, Madain, Oman Vision 2040 Unit, and Khazain. We would like to announce our new initiative, Omani Chartered Accountant, where we signed yesterday a strategic partnership agreement between Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Institute Chartered Accountant of India. With a full support and cooperation from related governmental bodies. This initiative will be in 3 phases. Phase 1, we are targeting 1 participant from each wilaya in Oman, all across the country, from Musandam up to Dhofar. Phase 2, we are going to select 1 participant from each village in Oman. Phase 3, we hope to see an Omani chartered accountant in each single house in Oman. It is a dream, but really we pray to God to make us survive to that day and see it. Finally, we renew our thanks to His Highness, our Chief Guest, and to all attendees for your generous attendance and participation in this event. Thank you.
شكرا لك دكتور عبد الله. نشكر غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان، والشكر موصول أيضا لمعهد المحاسبين القانونيين بجمهورية الهند على إطلاقهم لهذه المبادرة الرائعة التي سوف تسهم بلا شك في تمكين الشباب العماني في مجال المحاسبة القانونية ليقوموا بدور. Thank you, Dr. Abdullah. A big thank you to Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for launching this fantastic initiative that will undoubtedly empower the Omani youth in the field of legal accounting to contribute to the business sector. حفلنا الكريم يسعدني الآن دعوة الفاضل سوريش برافو مستشار جامعة ريشي هود وزير الاتحاد الهندي السابق لإلقاء كلمته. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to invite Mr. Suresh Prabhu, Chancellor of Rishi Hood University, former Union Minister of India, to deliver his speech.
Highness, Excellencies and friends, I must congratulate the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, our embassy, my colleagues in the Chartered Accountant fraternity for putting together their combined resources and organizing this very important event. At a time when India and Oman have reached a very advanced stage of coming to fruition, something which happens naturally. I remember when I was Commerce and Industry Minister, we used to talk about these issues. And we initiated something. I remember even when we signed SEPA with UAE, as Commerce Industry Minister with His Highness Sheikh Hamid, and we used to co-chair a high-level task force between UAE and India for investment and also doing this. So we said, why not create an institutional arrangement? And then subsequently we signed a SEPA. And now I'm sure India and Oman will formalize a relationship between us, which already exists in the minds of Omanis and Indians. It is something only taking forward and putting it into the letters, something which is already there in the spirit. And therefore I really very happy that it is happening at the right time. Also, with the presence of His Highness, because without royal patronage, nothing will really move forward. So I'm very happy that timing is right. The presence of such dignity like His Highness ensures that we will move in the right direction and realize the huge potential that lies in this amazing relationship that we have. There was a time when Indian rupee was a currency in Oman. And now, hopefully soon, inshallah, we'll have an agreement which will ensure we'll have a common market. And this common market would pave way for something which we cannot even imagine. In a way, if I had to take my home city is Mumbai, and I lived in Delhi for 26 years, so if I take flight from Mumbai to Delhi, it takes longer time than from taking a flight from Gujarat to Oman. In fact, there are many people who have taken probably those and had a very difficult time coming to Oman, because that time the seafarers were very adventurous people. But if there was a more adventurous person and wanted to swim, he could have reached Oman faster from Gujarat to Oman's shores than from going from Mumbai to Delhi. So that's a proximity, that's a closeness, but that's only in physical form. But I remember His Majesty, when he was blessing the project that I had initiated as a Minister of Fertilizers, Chemicals and Fertilizers, when Oman-India Fertilizer Project, and therefore I am sure he would be so happy to see that now it's going to happen. We are already the 5th largest economy of the world, and I had prepared a roadmap when I was Commerce Industry Minister of how to become $5 trillion. 20% will come from agriculture, that's $1 trillion. Another 20% will come from industry, that's another $1 trillion. And 60% will come from services, that's $3 trillion. So 113, and there each of this, I can clearly see an opportunity for Oman and India partnering with each other. I'm very happy for the introductory remarks in which you said several sectors you have spelled out. In fact, I remember again this region, and we like to provide food security. I had prepared and approved by the cabinet India's first agriculture export policy. So agriculture is not agriculture alone, it includes horticulture, it includes fisheries, it includes dairy products, it includes all of that put together. We had said that trade between India and the rest of the world where we export could be easily about $100 billion. And when we did that, it was $26 billion, it has increased now. Of course, I know there are small hiccups. Right now, the ban on onion is probably not helping the consumers of onion in Oman. I understand that. But at the same time, we have now a framework where we can do that. So India is poised to be the 3rd largest economy in very soon, probably in the next few years' time, probably in the 4-5 years' time. And actually, the top institutions of the world, the Goldman Sachs, just came out with a report last week saying that how India is going to be affluent. So of course, it is not India's desire to be affluent. India's desire is to make happy people happy back home and make world also happier, because that's what we believe in, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Because when we held G20, and I'm happy that Oman participated, I have handled G20 and G7 for the Prime Minister for almost 7 years. And the theme of the conference was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam technology. It's something which can create jobs in Oman. Because Omanization program of Oman is something which ensures that every Omani is getting and fulfilling whatever his mission in life is through the career. So technology is the future. And therefore India can provide an opportunity to partner with Oman. We are largest producer, one of the largest producer of renewable energy in the world. We can do that in Oman. We can always hydrogen, which looks like a new future when we would complete the energy transition. But hydrogen, again, Indian companies have committed probably few $100 billion of investment into this sector, not only for Indian markets alone, but can be transported. Because in any case, when the oil and gas will not be available in the foreseeable future, we'll probably need the same infrastructure for transportation to transport like hydrogen. So all of this we can actually partner with Oman and make sure that this partnership benefits people of Oman, people of India, and that's why the partnership will be sustainable. Nothing that will survive for too long unless it benefits people on the either side. And that's what should be the focus. I'm very happy to be here to participate in this program. I'm a chartered accountant. So there was a series of economic relationship of this region and also rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh. صاحب السمو راعي الحفل، حضورنا الكريم، الفيديو القادم سيسلط الضوء على برنامج المدير المالي العماني الذي نظمته غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان بالتعاون مع معهد المحاسبين القانونيين في الهند. متابعة شيقة نرجوها لكم. Patron of the ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, the upcoming video will shed light on the Omani Chief Financial Officer Program, which was organized by Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and in collaboration with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Enjoy. حفلنا الكريم، سنشهد الآن تدشين كتاب بعنوان ممارسة الأعمال التجارية في عمان، ويسرنا الآن دعوة الفاضل ديفيس كالوكولار ليلقي كلمة حول هذا الكتاب. Esteemed dignitaries, our next item of the agenda pertains to launching a valuable resource, a book entitled Doing Business in Oman.
Nominating me to the Deputy Chairmanship of the Foreign Investment Committee of Oman Chamber of Commerce. the last 3 years, we have seen tremendous changes in the diversification process of the Oman economy. This is based on the commitment by the government of Oman to have net zero carbon emission by 2050. Towards this, the government has committed to spend about 190 billion Omani riyals by 2050. This indicates a lot of opportunities for the investors to come in. About 67% of the GDP of Oman, or rather the revenue of Oman, is contributed by oil and gas. About 11% of the revenue is from taxes and duties. And the rest 22% is other sectors, like Oman fishery sector, it contributes about 2.5%. Tourism sector, similar 2.5%. So if the economy is moving towards carbon neutralization, and if they are going to spend about 190 billion Riyal Omani in the next 25 years, I see that there is a huge potential for foreign investors and Omani investors in this country in the coming years. This is laid down by a very clear indication in the 2040 vision statement by His Majesty. The government is focusing on agriculture and fisheries, energy and mining, transport and logistics, manufacturing, tourism. If the government is going ahead in the directions which has been given in the budget as well, we will see that the allocation for major funds are going for the Oman. About 500 million is given for encouraging industries, and they can go up to 5 million to 7 million for financing. The next one which has been given is about 1.9 billion for building about 60,000 housing units. Another 2 billion is given for Oman Investment Authority to invest in Oman in possible, feasible industries. All this indicates that there exists tremendous opportunity for the investors. So we, Grow Global, and the Oman Investment Authority, the Foreign Investment Committee of the decided to bring out this book on doing business and make it easier for. I'd like to emphasize that, Oman, the industrial estates, the free zones, the special economic zones, they are offering up to 100% ownership for the businesses. You can have up to 50 years of use-of-right contracts for the lands. There are no tax on dividends. There are no controls for repatriation of the profits.
فارس بن فاتح بن فهر آل سعيد الموقر راعي الحفل، بمعية سعادة الشيخ فيصل بن عبد الله الرواس رئيس مجلس إدارة غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان، والدكتور عبد الله بن مسعود الحارثي عضو مجلس إدارة غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان ورئيس اللجنة الإشرافية لبرنامج المدير المالي العماني، والأستاذ جيم جوزيف رئيس معهد المحاسبين القانونيين بالهند فرع مسقط، للصعود إلى المنصة مشكورين لتقديم الشهادات للمشاركين. Distinguished guests, we will now celebrate the achievements of the participants in the Omani Chief Financial Officer Program. Please allow me to extend a warm invitation to His Highness Sayyid Faris bin Fatih bin Fahar Al Saeed, patron of the ceremony, along with His Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Rawas, the Board Chairman of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Abdullah bin Masood Al Harthi, Board Member of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the Chairman of the Steering Committee of the Omani CFO Program, and Jim Joseph, Chairman of Muscat Chapter, to come to stage and present the certificates to the participants. أولاً خالد بن عبد الله المعمري. بدر بن سالم الخضوري. أمل العامري. سلطان بن محمد البادي. علي بن أحمد المعولي. بدر بن عبد الله المحروقي. هشام بن حمود الزجالي. نيفين محمد المزروعي. غدير محمد رضا حسن. نورة بنت محمد السلطي. نصر بن سعيد الحراسي. فتحية بن جمعة الحكماني. وثينة بنت أحمد البوسعيدي. إلهام بنت عبد الله المحروقي. ميساء بنت مسعود الحارثي. والهادي بن عبد الله بن محمد با عمر. كما يسرنا أن نعرب عن امتناننا للمتحدثين الرئيسيين في الملتقى وندعوهم للصعود إلى المنصة لتكريمهم. It's our utmost pleasure to extend our gratitude to the speakers of the forum. May I kindly request them to come to stage to receive their mementos. أولاً المهندسة عائشة بنت محمد السيفية. الفاضل محمد بن علي اللواتي. الفاضلة آمنة بنت ناصر الشرجية. مستر ساتشين كانا. Mr. Sachin Kana, not here. الفاضل محمد جواد. الدكتور محمد بن مسلم الرواحي. الفاضل مسلم بن سعيد الحارثي. Dr. Dipesh Shah, may I request Mr. Omesh Pomi to receive the memento on his behalf. الفاضل محمد بن مرتضى العيسى. الفاضل أمير بن صالح العلوي. Mr. Arjun Bahadur, may I kindly request Mr. Gaurav Kapoor to receive the memento on his behalf. الفاضل ورقاء بن فرزين العجمي. كما يسر غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان أن تقدم هدية تذكارية للفاضل سوريش برابو. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry is pleased to present a memento to Mr. Suresh Prabhu. His Excellency Amit Narang, Ambassador of India to Oman. Mr. Aniket Sunel, ICA President, may I request Mr. Jim Joseph to receive the memento on his behalf. Again, Mr. Anil Sunel, ICA President, may I request Mr. Jim Joseph to receive the memento on his behalf. نتقدم بجزيل الشكر والعرفان لصاحب السمو والسيد فارس بن فاتك بن فهر آل سعيد الموقر على تفضله برعاية هذا المنتدى، وندعو الآن سعادة الشيخ فيصل بن عبد الله الرواس رئيس مجلس إدارة غرفة تجارة وصناعة عمان لتقديم الهدية التذكارية لسموه. It gives us great pleasure to extend our gratitude and honor to the patron of this significant event, and now we would like to invite His Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Rawas to present the memento to His Highness. شكرا لكم راعي الحفل. حفلنا الكريم، في ختام حفل افتتاح الملتقى نتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لصاحب السمو السيد فارس بن فاتك بن فهر آل سعيد الموقر على تفضله برعاية هذا الملتقى، ونبقى الآن مع استراحة لمدة 10 دقائق ثم نعود بعدها لبدء الجلسات لهذا المنتدى. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the opening ceremony of this forum, we extend our thanks and appreciation to the patron of this significant event, His Highness Sayyid Faris bin Fatik bin Fahar Al Saeed. And now we'll proceed to a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with the first session of the forum. Thank you.
ये सीधे मार सीधे इसको मार दे ये निकाल केबल उसका ये लेना चाहिए
التنفيذ صح انتم؟ رؤية
برنامج وطني للاستثمار. ايوه
هو رؤية.
بس
كيف
فل
كيف فل سوينا هذا
اعتقد
يا سلام عليك. تاتش سكرين هذا
خلينا
السكرين
نشوف يعني انا كيف اقدر افهم
هذا تروح ترك
اوكي خلاص هو
وانت وتشرح
اوكي
خلاص
طيب ان شاء الله.
خلاص دكتور خلاص.
يعطيك العافيه.
محمد من بعد البرزنتيشن يصلوا للدكتور ومن بعد وين البرزنتيشن مالهم؟ ما كلهم موجودين ما كلهم. محمد أقول لك من بعد محمد هذه موجودة عايشة دكتورة ولا شوية موجود محمد لواتي وهذا الشرقية موجود هذا لا صوته موجود السنة قديمة برزنتيشن عنده فلاش قابلها ولا شيء. إذا درس لا يحتاج لنا أن نسمع
check, check, check. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please remain seated? Check, check, 1, 2, 3, check. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please remain seated? In a while, we will begin the first session of this forum. I repeat, may I have your attention, please? Could you please remain seated?
Sleepy. Sleepy. Saliba. Saliba. Saliba.
خلاص؟ يلا. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oman India Investor Forum. We will now proceed to the first session of this forum, entitled The Investment Environment. Our first speaker is Engineer Aisha bint Mohammed al-Saifi, the Vice President of the National Program for Investment and Export Development, NASDAHR. She will present her paper on Oman Vision 2040 and their efforts to accelerate also the investments or direct investments to the Sultanate of Oman. May I kindly now request Engineer Aisha bint Mohammed al-Saifi to come to stage to present her paper.
لا خلاص كده كويس. Dear esteemed guests, can you hear me? That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you again in this forum, and we look forward to having a productive day of discussions. Today, we come here to shed light on the efforts that have been made so far by Oman Vision 2040, and in specific, we shed light on Oman National Program for Investment and Export Development. If there is something that we have learned from 2023 and between 2020 to 2023 is that the political stability is one of the most expensive assets that countries should protect and adhere to. Speak here, we sit in a country where 2/3 of the population lives in 8 hours flying, 15 hours sailing from the heart of Oman, a country with indices like being one of the top 10 countries in the roads infrastructure, under 35 years old. On top of that, we are driven by a well-crafted vision for the nation, where people from all the walks of life, whether Omanis or non-Omanis residing in Oman, have contributed to crafting this vision with over 40,000 hours spent in developing the vision and over 9,000 labs that were carried out to ensure that this is the nation brand and this is the nation's vision under the leadership of His late Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, and as safeguarded by His Majesty Sultan Haytham, we continue to ensure that this vision is not an end in mind. Yes, it's our big, hairy, audacious goal, but towards the end, it's a process in the making. So as accelerating program, we want to ensure that we are working closely with our stakeholders based on the priorities that are set for each accelerating program that was spinned off by Oman Vision 2040. In NASDAHR in particular, and along with the other national programs, we very much safeguard 4 pillars for Oman Vision 2040, which are people and society. People is the most important dimension for the success of Oman Vision 2040, along with economy and development, sustainability, and ensuring that we are a country of sound governance and institutional performance. These 4 pillars are driving 12 priorities, as you can see here. Each priority is contributing to each program that was, again, launched by Oman Vision 2040. For that, economy is the focus and the hotspot of the government entities, and ensuring that, again, we're working towards activating this pillar and the priorities underneath. If anyone is interested, please scan the QR code here, where you will have access to the full document of Oman Vision 2040, and it's again shed light today specifying on. Okay, let's go back. You wanna? Okay, here we go. Anyways, those of you who has not scanned the QR code, you're more than welcome to approach us after the sessions to ask for more information, and will be at your disposal. So the program was initiated sometime during 2021, so it's been almost 2.5 years since we've activated the program, and the program works as a platform to ensure that we have all the diversification sectors of the country working together in harmony to achieve one particular goal, which is ensuring that Oman becomes a safe and friendly investment destination, whether for either foreign or local and domestic investment, and ensuring that, again, Oman becomes a world-class business environment for the region and for the world, where we are driven, again, by Oman Vision 2040 pillars now and towards the future. As we look at the Oman Vision 2040 and its pillar, the focus, again, in the first few years was more into the economic parts, where multiple accelerating and executive programs were initiated: توازن, استدامة, تنويع, the economic diversification, and تشغيل, that you might know of. The biggest program in terms of the scope and the number of projects that are activated within the program is Nazdaher, and within Nazdaher we work within 3 pillars: the business environment, and this is focused very much on ensuring and enhancing the investor journey, ensuring that we are focusing on the business environment and enhancing the overall journey of the investor, whether from the exploration phase, the marketing phase, positioning Oman to the world, towards the processes and procedures, and towards the execution of the investment and the sustainability of these investments, not only to sustain in the country, but to anchor further investments into the ecosystem. And we're going to shed light on the multiple projects that we've activated within the business environment. Within the investment sectors, we've started with 5 key investment sectors, but we ended adding more sectors where we are not only focusing on anchoring more investments in those sectors, but ensuring that the private sector's contribution is getting bigger compared to being very much government-centric, such as, for example, the sports sector, culture sector, and the health sector. The third one is external trade, and we're focused on exports, imports, and re-exports, and we're going to shed light on 14 projects that we are running in the next 2 years to ensure that we are doing better in the indices of the external trade, but also increasing the exports and the bilateral trades. With Speak today, we have over 100 projects that are running under Nazdaher in collaboration with our partners in specific Ministry of Commerce, Industry, and Investment Promotion. So as you said, we operate and navigate through 4 key objectives. The first one is we developed the investment positioning for the diversification sector. What are the investment directions and what are the interventions 2025? Similarly, for tourism and for manufacturing. For instance, we were looking towards 3 billion Omani riyals worth of investment in the tourism sector, and the minister himself is heavily involved in ensuring that we are facilitating that targets towards the end of 2025. The second thing is activating the escalation channel. So being a program that is supervised by the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Promotion Investment, and reporting directly then to the Economic and Financial Committee of the Cabinet, gives us that kind of edge where we have quick escalation mechanism for everything that faces the investors, and ensuring that we have kind of that dialogue between the private sector and the public sector. As a program, we do represent obviously the vision, but we stand in a middle area between the private sector and the public sector, because we bring in the mindset of the private sector where, you know, time is money, time is critical, and we understand the perspective of the investors. And for that reason, we negotiate a lot as well with the government to ensure that we are bringing the investors' perspective towards the public policy making table. The third element is we ensure that every project that's within Nazdaher that contribute targets of 2025 is very well monitored. So every morning there we have a dashboard where each sector lead within Nazdaher is responsible for ensuring that those investments that again contribute to the target of their sector towards 2025 would be achieved towards 2025, meaning that every single investment project is included in a dashboard where we have a direct contact with the vision office of the responsible ministry and the investor himself or herself to ensure that his or her project will materialize and take place within the breadth of between 2021 towards 2025. The fourth element is we align and we speak a lot with the private sector. Again, we sit in the middle sector, and what are the decision drivers for the private sector to make their decisions towards anchoring their investments in the country. So between 2021 until today, we have launched multiple projects. Some of them have already materialized, some of them are already in the making. We've launched the National Negotiation Team, which is a team that, again, was activated based on understanding the pains of the private sector and the gains that could be unlocked to the investors. So the National Negotiation Team is a team that's responsible to ensure that any investment that goes through that fast track, any investment that exceeds 50 million Omani riyals, where we project it into a national investment matrix that scores over 65% in terms of percentage. Again, the weight of those percentages will be highlighted later in the presentation. Will entertain a fast track in the negotiation. So we talk utilities, we speak land allocation, we speak gas price, we speak utility prices, we speak all of the incentives and processes and procedures in a one unified table. So the investor doesn't have to go shop around to ask for certain incentives or certain relaxations. No, the case is that they have one negotiation team that helps him facilitate through the process and talk to the responsible entities. So we don't negotiate just with the private sector, but rather with the public sector to ensure that we have the harmony and we have a one unified language with the investors. Luckily, actually, and in a good note, that the first deal that we have closed was an Indian investment, and it was Jindal Shadid steelmaking, green steelmaking project in Duqm. That was a project that exceeds 1 billion. And we continue to facilitate few projects. We will announce few projects that are in the very advanced stage of negotiation, again, towards this year. A few other projects is obviously Invest Oman Lounge, which again was the idea of ensuring that we have a one-stop shop, a VIP treatment facility for the investors where they can have an account manager taking care of the process, permission, procedures, and so on, and giving them the right information. So this should be their first landing center. We've obviously worked on national investment strategy that was later handed over to Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this should be is spearheading the national focus of the investment attraction projects that should be focused with detailed go-to-market plans for Oman. We have obviously launched the permanent residence for investors, and we have worked on unifying the incentive guide for the investors, so the investors do not have to go around to understand what would be the incentives required for an ICT project versus to live in Invest Oman platform. Among all of these are some of the projects that were materialized and were launched in the last 2 years. As we speak today, we're very much gearing towards the new World Bank Business Readiness Report, Be Ready. The new rollout would be 2025, but we're not waiting for the first new rollout. We're working closely with the private sector. Last week, we had a very productive conversation with Chamber of Commerce and Industry to become our partner to ensuring what are the gaps that we can fulfill for the private sector and the investors to ensure that we are ranking high in this particular index and ensure that it's private sector driven. So the conversation is now rolling out to ensure that, again, as Nazdahir and as the private sector, we're working together towards positioning Oman in its right place. Let me shed light on the national matrix for the National Investment Matrix, which was developed, and we actually had a patent certificate for it last year, where we have developed a Oman-specific investment matrix that ensure that we are handpicking what are the types of investment that we're looking for as a country. That again goes in line with our priorities and goes in line. So what we've done is we've worked closely with all of the stakeholders across the government. We worked as well with oil and gas, which is quite advanced in developing the in-country value criteria. And we've highlighted, we've ensured that when we talk about any project, it's not only the investment ticket that we're looking for, but rather what is it for us as an economy. So for example, what would be the opportunities for SMEs? How would that impact the ecosystem of the small and medium enterprises? What would be the cargo and the export and imports that will be directly generated through our Omani ports and local infrastructure? What would be the number of jobs per 1 million of revenue, again, for the local economy? How would that help us in the knowledge and expertise transfer? How would that work in the sense of that we're trying to distribute the investment development? So we would like to look at projects that do not necessarily focus on Muscat as a capital, but rather in areas where Oman has spent so much on their infrastructure, and we need to tap in on that infrastructure to bring those investors. And for that reason, we've developed this matrix that help us weigh in what are the priority investment that we look for as a country. And we work this closely with our partners. Yeah. So I'll just walk you through, again, the targeted sectors. As we speak today, the 173 investment projects span across these sectors, with each sector having its targets toward 2025, and ensuring, again, those sectors are owning those KPIs. So as a program, we ensure that we're supervising and facilitate them reaching their targets, but towards the end of the day, the sector is responsible to ensure that they are hitting their targets. Again, our investment target is 11 billion. So far, we've reached 8.4 billion Omani riyals, and almost 2.6 billion Oman riyals is to go towards the next 2 years, 2024, 2025. These are the new sectors that will be activated this year. So we will be seeing a target for culture, real estate, education, and obviously decarbonization. We believe that there are a lot of green opportunities that will be tackled from the Oman's ambitious energy transition plans and decarbonization. These are 14 projects that we've activated towards the end of 2023 in ensuring, again, we are scoring high into our trade balance as a country. If you need to get more information on these projects, we're very much happy to help you. So in general, this is in a nutshell what we have been doing so far as Nazdaher. And if anyone is interested to know more about it, my colleagues will be here to help you. Please as well head to our LinkedIn page as Nazdaher to get more information, and we'll be very much happy to help you shed light on more information on the initiatives. I really, again, welcome you all in this business forum, and I wish you all a very productive and fulfilling day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Aisha Saifi, for your informative presentation. May I remind you now, please, to keep your questions until the end of this session, where we will have, inshallah, 15 minutes for the Q&A session. Our second speaker in this first session is Mr. Mohammed bin Ali Lawati, Director of Investment Promotion Department at the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion. May I kindly request him to come to stage to present his paper on the investment climate and incentives in the Sultanate of Oman. Mr. Mohammed.
Dear esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. As I have been informed now, I already have 10 minutes to 15 minutes. I'll try to be very fast. And by the way, I'll skip some of the slides as it has been already mentioned. And thank you for Engineer Aisha. And some of the slides, I'll keep it to the presentation after me from OPAS. So again, I would like to say if you have any questions, let's keep it till the end of this presentation or till the end of this session. In the coming few minutes, I'll go to describe or to present the investment climate of Oman, in which it will give you the knowledge information or the information about the investment climate, investment incentives, etc. So to starting with a vision of Oman 2040, if we are considering the investment as a vision of Oman, we can describe it in a very short sentence saying that Oman wants to be a globally recognized as a competitive and diversified, resilient economy that empowers a thriving business community. Most of the times when we speak to the investors, one of the head questions that we are receiving from the investors saying that does Oman has a right workforce to work in the investment that I will launch it here in Oman. We normally say to them that we are in a median age of 25 years old. Oman is in a median age of 25 years old, which means that we are the youthful country that can work. We have the right workforce that can assist you in moving towards the success of your company. One of the values that Oman is having, we are a very coastal country with more than 3,000 kilometers, 5 million of a population. I know this is a very small number if we are comparing to India, but I'll go and describe more about the population of Oman in different slides. The most two important information here, which is we need to update it because we are waiting for the right numbers. We have reached to 10.4 billion of FDI inflows, $1 billion of the FDI inflows until the Q1 of 2023. Today, while I was searching about the number, we have reached around 21 billion Omani riyals, which means around 55 billion USD dollars until the end of Q3 of 2023. So, which means that as the number has been jumped 3 times, I'm pretty sure that even the total FDI has been jumped 3 times. Maybe it will reach to more than 70 billion USD dollars. As it has been mentioned by my colleague Aisha, we have the two targeted sectors that Oman is focusing on. So we have divided it into 2 categories. The first category focusing on tourism, mining, manufacturing, agriculture, fisheries, logistics, and the enabler sectors, education, healthcare, circular economy, information technology. The question that comes here normally, does Oman has the right infrastructure to get these kind of investments? Yes, this has been put because of the demand of these projects. International, okay, in the coming 3 slides, I'll give you the values that Oman is getting now from different entities around the world. So starting with International Monetary Fund has projected Oman to be one of the fastest, or to be the fastest growing economy between the GCC countries in 2024. So if you are willing to put your investment, this is the right time, as 2024 will be heading the GCC countries when it comes to the economic development. When it comes to the global investment momentum, we have been ranked as the 4th. What does it mean? It means that Oman is having the right opportunities now to attract or to get investments from different places or from different countries. Again, when it comes to the container port performance, it is initial and important to measure some factors such as connectivity, capacity, etc. So World Bank has been rated Salalah Port as the 2nd in container port performance. Does Oman has the world-class infrastructure when it comes to the globally of roads? Again, I can say that you have been already seen while you have been here, landed here in Oman, the infrastructure of Oman, from roads, etc. So yes, we have been ranked as the 10th, and it's one of the factors that facilitate the investments to come here more to Oman. I'll skip that slide because Amna will take care of that one. If you remember, at the second slide, I have said we are only 5 million of a population here in Oman. But if we consider different factors that Assyrian consumers, again to Singapore, we have with GCC countries, and different FTAs now in the process of signing between Oman and different countries. And only in GCC countries, as we can consider a door, because we are a coastal country, we are a door to GCC countries. We can cover around 59 million consumers within 2 hours of flight. We can cover 2.6 billion consumers within 4 hours of flight. So we are not speaking about only 5 million of consumers. No, we are speaking a very large number of consumers. These are the general incentives that normally we give to the investors. These are the incentives, or the incentives are here: 100% ownership, 30 years tax exemption, no minimum capital required to start your company, long agreement when it comes to the lands, up to 10 years investor residency program. We have 5 and 10 years of residency program, and free trade agreements. I would like to add one more point here, saying that we have even different incentives that could be given to the investors when it comes, or when we speak about a very large capital to invest. The second question that we normally get from the investors: does Oman has a law to protect me while I put my investment here in Oman? Yes, we have 5 different international laws that could assist or cover you while you put your investments here in Oman. These are the Foreign Capital Investment Law, Bankruptcy Law, Public-Private partnership law, privatization law, commercial partnership law. I can share with you if anyone needs these laws in details. Again, I'll skip this slide, but no, I will not skip. Why? Because I would like to say that I'm giving you the invitation to visit Invest Oman Lounge. The Invest Oman Lounge has more than 15 government entities. Oman's economy, since 18 months back, we have been ranked 3 times as a positive in scale. So why does that happen to Oman? Due to different reasons, I can say that one attraction here to Oman, Oman has been lowering their debts, and we are giving chance to the Omani people to work in these investments. Before I end, I would like to share these 2 barcodes. The first barcode on the right side, it gives you the investor guide, all the services you need or everything you need to know more about the investment services here. You can scan that one. And the second one is Invest Oman website, where it gives you the opportunities that are available here in Oman. Until yesterday, there are more than 57 opportunities that are well demanded and need for the investor. Thank you all, and I would like to say if you have any questions, let's keep it after this session.
Thank you, Mohammed, for your informative presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to extend an invitation to Mrs. Amna bint Nasser al-Sharji, Head of Investor Relations Department at the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones, OPAZ, to present her paper on the investment opportunities and facilities in the Special Economic Zones and Free Zones. Mrs. Amna, the floor is yours.
Yes, sure. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to start by apologizing for my voice. I'll try my best to be as clear as possible. And I'll give you a quick brief about the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zone, its main mandate, and what do we do, and what do we want to attract basically to Oman. So OPAZ is the public authority responsible for all the free zones in Oman, special economic zones and industrial estates. Today we overlook more than 22 zones. Most of them are established, and majority of them, a good number of them are under development, and the map over here basically shows you the distribution of these zones from north to south of Oman. We overlook zones with a total investment of 43 billion, it's not Omani riyals, it's dollars, apologies for that, until mid-2023. The total area of all these zones is more than 2,250 square kilometers. OPAZ is a public authority basically established under a royal decree in August 2020 with main mandates. Our vision is to be the investment destination of choice for most free zones and industrial estates in Oman, and also the ones are to be coming in the future, inshallah. We are the regulatory arm of all these zones in Oman. We facilitate the current investors in our pipeline, and also we offer an aftercare service to most of these investors, or all of them actually, to market and attract. So as Engineer Aisha has mentioned, and also my colleague Mohammed has mentioned, there are several sectors that we overlook to attract to Oman overall. And we also narrower in consideration to the sectors that were mentioned, because We are more focused towards the industrial aspect, except for Duqm, because it's a special economic zone. So it's narrower in terms of sectors, and it's more towards, focused towards logistics and also the industrial activities. We activate and accelerate. So today we are establishing subzones in these sectors, and we also work to, one of our mandate is organizational excellence, where we try to offer our employees the best environment possible for them to be able to actually perform and reach our targets. When it comes to the investors, mentioned already by my colleague, Mr. Mohammed, and also briefly by Mr. Davidson in his speech earlier, so I'll skip the slide. We capitalize on the value propositions of Oman basically to attract these investors. So multi-modal transportation system, which was briefly mentioned, diverse natural resources. So we believe that Oman sits in the heart of the world. And as my colleague Mohammed mentioned, that looking at the population of Oman might not be very effective for businesses to establish in Oman. However, looking at the population in the neighboring countries, and we are proud to say that today we are one of the nations that are considered friends to everyone in the world, which is a really good asset to capitalize on. Ease of doing business through the one-stop shop, Invest in Oman, and we also have one-stop shops in our zones, where we aimed for investors to finalize all their paperwork through a one window without them having to go to several different entities to establish their business in Oman. And our strategic location, as I mentioned briefly. So going very quickly, for the sake of time, to each of the zones that are operational today, starting with the special economic zone at Duqm. It's right in the heart of Oman, between the capital Muscat and Dhofar in the south. It's 2,000 square kilometers in size. That's relatively three times the size of Singapore as a country. The population is 25,000 people today. It has different facilities of deep sea multi-purpose port and also a fishery dedicated port, which is one of its kind in the region. A local airport which is ready to operate as an international airport at any time if the volumes were seen to be effective. Different accommodations and different medical and educational facilities. And to be very frank here, they need to be enhanced. So if there's any investors who are interested in the healthcare sector, we are able to talk to them after, after the session. Going very quick to the projects, some of the projects in the zone and not all of them. So we have OQ8, which we consider to be an anchor project in the zone, and we foresee further downstream industries coming around as a cluster. OTCO, which is an oil and gas storage facility, one of its kind in the region. And we have several projects in the green industry, manufacturing and green industry production. So green hydrogen, basically. And the first batch were signed in Duqm. We foresee the downstream to be allocated within the zone. And then the next batch started to be signing soon in Salalah, and we foresee the downstream to come to the free zone in Salalah as well. A fishery-based factory, a good number of the natural resources of fish are allocated around the Wusta region, which Duqm is in, and also Renaissance Village, Karwa Motors, and some tourism facilities. So when we talk about the special economic zone versus free zones, special economic zone is a complete city working under the entitlement or operating under the entitlement of a free zone. So you'd have healthcare, tourism, residential, alongside the industries, which is heavy, light industry. So it's a complete city, and we will see the difference in the coming zones. Moving to Salalah Free Zone, as my colleague Mohammed mentioned, Salalah Port is a award-winning port due to its container handling capabilities. The area is smaller than Duqm, way similar activities, leaving aside the residential and commercial and other activities. Population today is 420,000 people in the city, not in the free zone. Started developing in 2006. It has port facilities and international airport already. and different accommodation and medical facilities ready to cater to investors alongside their families as well. Main projects in Salalah, there is a huge focus on pharmaceutical when it comes to Salalah, so pharmaceutical, food, logistic, industrial. And again, you can see the shift from Duqm where you don't have the commercial and the residential activities. Going very quick to Suhar, it's right, it's the closest free zone basically to the capital Muscat, and all the consumable goods by the local population come through the port of Suhar. It provides a swift access to the growing Middle East, India, and East African markets. It's 45 kilometers square in area. Again, the population is 240,000 people within the city, not in the free zone. Good facilities of port, airport, accommodation, and medical facility. And all our ports that I've mentioned so far are joint ventures between Asiad as a local representative and also an international player, Antwerp in Duqm, Rotterdam in Suhar, and AP Muller in Salalah. When it comes again to the sectors, different sectors, textile, logistic, pharma, automotive, but again, they're all focused towards business doing and not the commercial and residential activities. Moving to Mizyuna, which is the smallest zone that we oversee as an authority, is 15.3 square kilometers. Population is 10,000 people in the city and started developing in 1999. The sectors are more compact, focusing on commercial, services, and industrial, and we would say light industries, because this zone acts as a transshipment hub for goods coming from the world to Yemen, to Mizyuna, to Salalah, and vice versa. Moving to Khaza'in, which is again closer to the capital Muscat. However, it does not have a seaport, it has a dry port. It's 52 kilometers square, started developing in 2018, which is considered one of the newest zones that we oversee as an authority. It's in very good proximity to the airport, the international airport, and also Suwaiq port, which is the port that handles all the food-related imports to Oman. So when it comes to the key project, the central market for fruit and vegetables is one of the main anchor projects in the zone. And other facilities, pharmaceutical is also one of the areas that we focus on in Khaza'in. And the investment opportunities are diverse. And because it's an economic city, so you'd also have the residential and commercial activities. Coming to the public establishment for industrial estates, Mada'in. So Mada'in is an entity that we overlook, and it foresees all the industrial estates in Oman. The map shows you the distribution of these industrial estates from north to south, mainly focused towards the most populated areas of Al-Dhahira and also Muscat. The area of all these zones combined together is 124 kilometer squares, not meter squares. It gives solutions of co-working spaces, warehouses, infrastructure development, commercial spaces, residential and industrial complexes. Today there are 9 industrial cities, 1 IT area, and 1 free zone, which is Al-Mizyuna, briefly mentioned before, that are overlooked by Mada'in. When it comes to the projects that are there today, again, diverse due to the different number that we have of economic zones, and the investment opportunities are in various sectors due, again, to the different areas that we cover. Thank you for your time, and apologies once again for my voice.
Thank you, Mrs. Amna. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to honoring 5 of the participants who did not join us at the earlier honoring ceremony. So may I kindly now request His Excellency His Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Rawas, the Board Chairman of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, His Excellency Amit Narang, Ambassador of India to Oman, Dr. Abdullah bin Masood Al-Harthi, Board Member of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the Chairman of the Steering Committee of the Omani CFO Program, and Jim Joseph, Chairman of Muscat Chapter, to come to the stage to present the certificates to the participants. نوسة هلال الريامي. كلثوم يوسف الحبسي. شيخة راشد المسروري. and محمد بن مبارك العبيداني. Thank you, Your Excellency. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with the speakers of this first session. So allow me now to invite Mr. Sachin Khanna, the Executive Director of Investments and Wealth Management at Invest Advice, to come to the stage to present his paper on Why India, India, Land of Unlimited Opportunities.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. First of all,
Good afternoon.
I would like to thank you all, the Oman government and the CA chapter, to let me be here. First thing I noticed about Oman, I entered here in 2018 for a small exhibition. After that, I'm entering over here, say, approximately after 5 years, for 5.5 years. The best part about Oman I found was the people's behavior. I mean, you meet out the people over here, starting from the airport, the way they greet you, the way they actually shake hands with you. It's seriously out of the world. Secondly, what I liked about Oman was the mountains. You talk about the beaches, you talk about the roads, you talk about the hygiene, you talk about the cleanliness. It's seriously amazing. Can we have a big round of applause for Oman, first of all? And similarly, India also has a growth story. I was looking at the good number of presentations talking about the investment opportunities in Oman and the way Oman has been rising like an immense power. And similar way, India was also grounded, and right now we are also emerging as a big power in the world. And keeping the ethics and values in our mind, similarly like in Oman, we can see the historical places or the history or the culture still be there. And with me, Mr. Pankaj Mehdi will be accompanying me for the presentation, and we'll take it forward. We won't take much of your time. We won't budge your head with the numbers and all. So stay relaxed. It will be a very good conversation. Take it very lightly. Ms. Pankaj, over to you.
Hello. Good afternoon. Why India? India is land of unlimited opportunities are there, because we are seeing a lot of presentations are there. We're seeing that Oman is there, the great opportunities are there. Similarly, India is also at a very fast pace and showing unlimited opportunities there. Here we see one of the world's fastest growing economies are there. As we've seen in a lot of presentations here in the media also. Apart from when the government from the last, you can say from last 10 to 12 years, if you see the presentations are there, the Modi government, his package is giving 250 billion trillions, equivalent to a 10% of the India GDP is there. As per the say, the country is the 953, means 1,000 billions are FDI inflows are shown in the last 3 years, which is much big amount for the India. That's why the India is projected as the third largest economy in the coming 2027 or so. Apart from that, the largest youth population in the world also have India is there. If you see in the last 25 years, up till 2036, from 2011, if we consider, the increase in the population is nearly 25% is there. Apart from that, till 2030, we're saying 42% Indian population is urbanized. From 2011 population, just 31% there. So urbanization is also increasing day by day. Above all, if you see India is the third largest group of scientists and technology and engineering students across the globe. You will agree with me that India's youth population in the world is increasing day by day. If you see global innovation index, if you see here, from in 2015, India has increased their values, global innovation ranking from 81st to 40th. This is one of the biggest, huge jump is there in this world. If you see in the center, in the South Asian region, India is number 1. Above all, India is also number 1 in the lower middle income economy group. If you see the global index 2023. This is happening because India is focusing more on the infrastructure is there. Because if you focus on the infrastructure, then and only then, we are going from developing country to developed countries there. Because the infrastructure, the most important thing is there. That's why our Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji, has announced a big amount, especially for the infrastructure pipelines are there. Infrastructure pipelines, not only for the roads are there, it is only for the energy, urban state, railways are there, which increase the movement across the India from north to south and east to west is there. Because India is a large country as per the area is concerned, democratical conditions are also concerned. Apart from there, if you see National Industrial Corridor Program is there. If you see the Industrial Corridor Program, which is covering from top, from north to Kochi, from south is there, and above from east to west. This infrastructure corridor program is giving a good boost to the India's developing country, to the developed country, and to increase the economy further for the world is there. That's why I'm saying, if you above all, if you increase the global index is there, economy is growing. That's why the rising global competitiveness is also increasing day by day, as per the IMF also. which is now index at 4 is there, and 68th place in the 114 countries which are registered by the country. India ranked 40th. India jumped 6 places from 38th rank in the World Bank logistic performances also. Only focusing on the infrastructure projects as well as over the economic growth are there. That's why the FDIs are coming and increasing day by day in the last 10 years, especially for the India is there. That's why we say, okay, please invest in India also, but who we are as a investment advisors are there, and why you invest in India, that's taken by
Thank you, Pankaj. So, I belong to the company called Invest Advice Wealth. This company was actually came into inception a decade back. So the founder of the company is a banker himself, Mr. Sachin Gupta. So he was in the banking background, he works in the insurance industry everywhere for nearly 15 years. The gap he founded was, while working in the banking sector, everyone knows that there are mutual funds, there are taxation planning and everything is there. But if I talk about a complete wealth management solution, so shouldn't be a place ideally be where you can think about any asset class and you can park your money over there with transparent advice. That's the reason this company came up, and this company wasn't separate. I mean, you talk about a banker, you talk about a person having an IITM background, that's another director. You talk about another person who was in IT industry in Qatar, and you talk about one more person who was again in the banking background. Why I'm focusing on this is because we're not only dealing with mutual funds, AIF, PMS, insurance products, we are also dealing with real estate as an asset class. Not only as an end user, we also think it as an investment vehicle, because looking at the growth opportunities in Dubai, in India, and many other parts of the world, we think that the transparent advice in terms of every asset class is very much required. Next slide, please. These are the founder members of our company, Mr. Sachin Gupta, Mr. Rajesh Khatri, Mr. Nitin Garg. Now, this is the life cycle of wealth management. We first understand what are your requirements, what are your aspirations, what are goals you are planning to invest the money for. Generally, we have seen in the market, in fact, across the world, because our operations are spread across the world, be it Singapore, be it Dubai, Oman, Australia, UK, US, many other countries, because we have NRIs all over the world. The point is, we understood that people are there to sell, but without even knowing, I mean, it's just a marketing which happens in the market, be it about any product. And without even realizing, some people in fact park their money without realizing that will they be able to liquidate that at a certain time of point of time? Will they be able to make profits out of that at a certain point of time? Be it any other asset class. So our first objective is to understand what are their own requirements. Secondly, we try to understand the profile. I would not advise a 70-year-old person to invest into a small cap mutual fund, say for good 2 to 3 years, looking at the risk appetite and the age bracket as well. Similarly, it depends on the age, many other factors, the country he puts up in, the kind of aim he has for the retirement, and many other factors. We provide the solutions to him at the stage which we call propose. Fourth is the implementation. We understand that buying a product is easy, but again, we're talking about investments of the self-use, wherein we try to minimize the cost for any person who is entering with us, be it any asset class. We pick up this, the mutual funds as well. If I talk on mutual funds particularly, we pick up the funds which have the lowest expense ratio and higher amount of profits, which we can foresee. Talking about real estate, we advise the people to get into pre-launch stage, wherein they can fetch out the maximum benefits from the launch itself. At the launch itself, they generally get into 20% depreciation. Obviously, it depends on the market. Fifth is the report. We definitely dependent on the how the market is performing, how the person is reviewing the portfolio. Next one, sir. So these are the products we are dealing with. If I talk about the stock market particularly, so we're dealing with mutual funds, we're even dealing with PMS, we're dealing with AIFs and many other products. We also plan for your retirement via life insurance products, marketed plans, guaranteed ROA plans, and obviously a blend. We see, first of all, we need to understand any investment portfolio can't be reliable on a single asset class. We need to understand that. Diversification is really, really important. That's the reason we have everything on the platter. Now the second question arises, okay Akash, let's say we start the investment. For the taxation purpose, I need to call up my CA. We also have CAs on board who take care of your ITR filing, taxation planning, capital gain, loss statements, and every other thing you can think about. Talking about the technology, we also have our own ERP solution, mobile app, and an O platform where you can see all your investments parked up. So if we talk about your wealth, managing your wealth, we are a one-stop solution for anything you can imagine. Be it you're traveling to a different country, you need travel insurance, you have a factory, you have a business, you have an office wherein you can, you want employer-employee insurance, medical insurance, group insurance, you name it and we have the products. But the thought is just to give you the most transparent advice, because we are not here to actually do one transaction with you. We want to have a multi-generation transactions with you. That's the reason we have multiple reference based. Our business has grown in a decade by references itself. For the same reason, last year we got the biggest turnover of 3,000 crore rupees. And that was our achievement for us. Next slide, please. We can skip that. Next one. We've already talked. These are some of the brands we're associated with in terms of the real estate. These are some of the brands we had, brands in terms of the business we are dealing the relationships with. And these are some of the insurance and the mutual fund companies we are tackling now, right now. The aim is to let's connect with each one of you and let's grow together. Together, as I mean, we want to grow your portfolio as well, and we want to get rich as well. That's the only aim. Thanks a lot.
Making money, we are helping you to multiplying the money for your further investment in Oman as well as in India. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to 15 minutes for a Q&A session on the themes presented in this particular session. I would like to kindly request Engineer Aisha bint Mohammed al-Saifi, Mr. Mohammed bin Ali Lawati, Mrs. Amna bint Nasser al-Sharji, and Mr. Sachin Khanna to come to the stage for the Q&A session. محمد اللواتي أظن هو لا ما have seat please. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to have any question to any of our esteemed presenters, direct your question directly to them and they will be gladly answer your questions or inquiries. So we'll have 15 minutes for this session. The floor is yours. Anyone has any question? We have a question there. The mic, please.
بسم الله الرحمن. السلام عليكم. I have a question for Akash.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. My name is Ismail from the group overseas, Amani company. My question is, can you highlight the average return on the investment in India, and especially last 2-3 years, what was the average return investment which you are handling, if my understanding is correct? And what about the taxation rates, average taxation rates in India, and then the payback, the investors pay back when they invest in India?
Very good question asked, sir.
And second question is the Sharia, whether you have Sharia compliant product in India. I understood there's a lot of opportunity, unlimited opportunity, investment opportunities in India, as you highlighted. However, do you have the Sharia compliant investment opportunities?
Very good question, sir. So answer your questions one by one. First thing you asked about the ROI we have seen in the investments in past 2 to 3 years in India. Ultimately, it's very, very subjective because there are different asset classes, there are different opportunities. So everything is market linked, and every asset class is a different market altogether. If I talk about real estate, so yes, India has boomed in terms of real estate as well, but geographically, if I talk about every state, every area has a different set of returns. If I talk about the highest set of returns, within a year, we have seen a return of 30 to 40% as well. This is in real estate. If I talk about mutual funds as well, I remember during that pandemic time, 2020, 2021, some people sold off their stocks or mutual funds just like that they want to exit the market because of it. But trust me, the people who have retained the stocks, they have retained the mutual funds, who have kept patience, after a year and a half, they were 30 to 40% plus. So returns are there, definitely, but it's very much subjective. I'm talking about a higher side. There have been instances where the growth has not happened at all. Portfolio, if you are already too much risk diversified, I mean, if your portfolio is already at a very high risk, I can't advise you a product which is very high risk again. The investment route in India for the Omanians or the other foreign nationals. So there are FDI routes open via the developers in India that we can talk about. We have a stall over there that for that we can have a separate round of discussion. So this presentation was particularly for the individual investors or the group entities who want to enter into India, especially for the OCI holders. But yes, for the foreign nationals, FDI route is very much open and they can make tremendous amount of profit by that.
The Sharia compliant, because some investors are interested in Sharia compliant products. Is that also available in India?
I'm not able to get your question completely, to be honest. The first word you said.
He's asking about Sharia compliant products and services from India.
That we can discuss on the platform, different platform.
Or am I free to ask a question now?
Yeah, surely.
Thank you. I Oman as well in 2050 will be 8 million tons. How can we pair Oman's intentions towards green hydrogen and India's intentions towards green hydrogen and see how these countries can operate together and successfully? And inclusive of bringing technologies from around the world, whatever. How do these, even individually or together, how can we work that out?
I think it's about the intentions itself, the way Modi government is working towards collaborating the nations all together. I mean, you talk about India with Japan or many other countries, treaties are being signed up, many things are being held up at the moment. Talking about the growth, definitely the first thing is tourism. I mean, today I was in the queue in the morning when I reached the immigration line. Trust me, the kind of gentry there was, the kind of queue, I stood up in the queue for 1.5 hours, and they were all the visiting guests. There were many Indians, many other people. So I think first thing is tourism, definitely. Second thing, I would say that I'm right now too small in terms of age and the exposure that I'm right to answer that question. I think I'll have to pass that question on.
Yes, mic there, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My question also to our guest from India, because we'll leave it to our guest to ask our Omani colleagues. So I have two questions. One, I mean, it seems there is a real success story when it comes to India attracting FDI. We see in one of your slides that you succeed to attract more than 10% as an FDI flow, which is, I mean, as a size from India GDP, which is huge. So that
right.
is, you mean, you attract a huge amount of FDI to India. So we would like to, I mean, we'd like you to offer some guidance or advice for us here in Oman, because we are still into 2% of GDP inflow in the country. We are starting a journey which is FDI is one of the they call it important pillar for us. So India's success is really clear, and is it because you've been able to packaging certain investment opportunity? Is it because of alignment between different players? Is it because of the market? I mean, so that is one question. And number two, which is related to Oman-India bilateral investment, which is still what they call it, still below the threshold of the expectations. We are neighbors, and we've been in trade and relations since long. Yeah, still the FDI flow from India, for us it is very limited. So how we can encourage Indian investor to come and really believe on the investment opportunity here in Oman, so we can really materialize instead of just importing maybe from India or from other country, how we can do things here locally and make our program Nazdaher and Invest in Oman and our free zone flourish with Indian investment.
Very good question asked. So first thing I would say, I will like to answer your second question first, because that's a very good point. So what I think is, if you ask me without any unbiased answer, let me be very clear on that, and don't take me otherwise, please. So I think Oman has a lot of potential. You talk about, again, like I talk about the architecture over here, the natural things we have, the beach, mountains, and everything, which is gradually being marketed in the entire world. The point I'm trying to say is that, talking about the investment horizon we have, Oman has, the kind of presentations I've seen just now, there was never in my mind that, okay, some people can invest in Oman as well. First thing that comes, if I talk about the overseas, is Dubai. I think it's because of the marketing. The way Dubai is being marketed in the entire world, I mean, marketing impacts a big way. In a positive or negative, that depends ultimately on the intention on who is marketing. What I think is, Oman needs to be marketed in a very big way. That's the way. You talk about India's FDI, I'm saying across the world, this place can attract investments like anything. It can beat anyone in the world. Because the first thing, we have not left our history, we've not left our ethical values. They're still over here in Oman. We can feel that. Secondly, behavior of the people, despite having the cross-cultural things as well. I mean, there are people across the cultures in Oman, I could see this time. But still, if you look at the discipline, if you look at the aura, you look at other things, it's very much in balance. I think it's the marketing thing. And first question you asked for the different routes to invest into India, apart from the FDIs, I really need to check on that, if I took the question right, because there was a speaker volume not that high so that I can listen to you very, very clearly. Might we can sit in the booth and have a word over that. I think that answers. If you have anything, please let me know.
We still have 3 minutes. Any more questions?
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. معكم سالم الحكماني رئيس تنفيذي.
Just one.
الأخ الحكماني بس لو تقرب المايك عادي تفضل ارفع صوتك بس شوي.
أبشر.
تفضل. يس تفضل.
سالم الحكماني الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة السدة العالمية للصناعات. طبعا عندنا صناعات التحويلية اللي هي الأدوية وصناعات مواد الخام البلاستيكية. السؤال ما هي الفرص الاستثمارية في الجانب الصناعات التحويلية من منظوركم في سلطنة عمان؟ أيضا مقابل ذلك، ما هو حجم الاستثمار الصناعي، الاستثمار الهندي الصناعي في سلطنة عمان؟ وهل توجد في الهند فرص مدروسة في جانب الاستثمارات الصناعيات التحويلية؟ وما هي التسهيلات التي تقدمها حكومة الهند للمستثمرين العمانيين في هذا الجانب؟
Did you get the question?
Actually, the translator is not working.
He's basically asking about, Mr. Sachin, He's basically asking about the investment opportunities available in India within the manufacturing sector. So if you could elaborate on this.
Okay, I got, got the question now. Thanks a lot for that. So if I talk the manufacturing industry, which particular sector should I not say about? That's the question over here. Because if you talk about mobile phones, from the cars, from the tires, from cement, and anything you talk about, opportunities are there in the entire piece of land. I'll tell the simple reason. Like we said, population is emerging in India. It was not considered to be a good thing a few years back, but right now, the way youth is rising over there in India, consumption is there. I mean, there are remote areas in entire India, in every patch of the state, where there used to be no development at all. And right now, you go over there, the prices over there, footfall over there has increasing like anything. But if it particularly talk about a very good margin area, particularly the investments, if that's what you want to listen to, I would rather say pharmacy is the one. Medical industry is the one, because still if I talk about India, there is shortage of doctors. There's still shortage of the hospitals. That we need to work on a lot.
Okay, for this session,
I'm not very much aware about that, what benefits they can attain. So I think I'll have to pass on that question. And later on, I'll connect the founder of my company to you guys, so to have a better discussion on that.
okay, if you have any other further questions, you can keep them maybe afterwards. So we will have another break, and maybe also during lunchtime, you can direct these questions to the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this first session, join me in raising a warm round of applause to the speakers for their efforts. Thank you very much to Engineer Aisha bint Muhammad al-Saifi, Mr. Muhammad bin Ali Lawati, Mrs. Amna bint Nasser Sharji, and Mr. Sachin for their informative answers. Thank you very much. Okay. Our second session of this forum will delve into the specific investment opportunities covering sectors such as renewable energy, mining, digital economy, and artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to extend an invitation to Mr. Muhammad Jawad, Business Development Manager at OQ Energy, to come to the stage to present his paper within the renewable energy sector. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for this technical issue. We will proceed to the second speaker. So may I kindly request Dr. Mohammed bin Musallam al-Rawahi, the head of Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Technologies Project Management Department at the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, to come to stage to present his paper on the investment opportunities in the digital economy, information technology and artificial intelligence sector. Dr. Mohammed.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. معكم محمد بن مسلم الرواحي من وزارة النقل والاتصالات وتقنية المعلومات، المركز الوطني للفضاء والذكاء الصناعي والتقنيات المتقدمة. شاكر لكم حضوركم وأتمنى أن يكون يوم مثمر وفي كثير من الفرص الاستثمارية في السلطنة. بداية أحب أبدأ presentation. I start with my presentation with the speech of His Majesty on his speech on November 14, 2023, when he said, with our profound recognition of the necessity to diversify sources of income through knowledge, technology, and innovation, we are resolutely intent to position the digital economy as a pivotal central pillar of our national economy. I have a short video, if you allow me to run this video.
I recall my business mentor once telling me, always think of a business as a living being, for it has a pulse, an emotional state, and more importantly, it has a soul. And today I realize why he said that. It is us, the people, who ultimately drive the business. And as we stay true to our inner needs, we channel that energy to our business. The further we go, the further our ambitions grow. Choose your base wisely, for it is a part of your life's journey. forming meaningful connections and unforgettable memories. With our potential unleashed, our aspirations kept growing ever higher. Embedded in a solid economy that continues to thrive, and surrounded by a deep pool of passionate and creative talent, and state-of-the-art infrastructure supporting growing industries. Seeing the fruit of my investment decisions fills me with gratitude. My journey took me here, to Oman, where I am able to maintain 100% percentage foreign ownership and enjoy 100% repatriation of capital and or profit, with competitive corporate tax breaks and with our products. For me, this investment wasn't just good for business, it was good for me as a whole.
I will take you through the strategic direction for the digital economy of Oman. For the years of 2021 to 2025, the focus is on integrated digital smart government projects. From 25 to 2030, we are on the digitization of the main economic sectors. Going through till we reach 2024, we are aiming to make like technology as an industry and technology as enabler for the economic sectors. I'll take you through. I'll take you directly to the investment opportunities in the ICT sector in Oman. The first opportunity is a design of semiconductor company. The government of Oman is seeking and calling for investors to start and run integrated circuit design company that can access international market. Significant incentives will be given to the investors, where we have the location of this opportunity is in Muscat, and it is addressing the ICT sector. Requirement from the investor is to have like commercial registration and business proposals to the Ministry of to the government itself, and as well to have like a pre-feasibility study. Second opportunity is to establish outsourced semiconductor assembly and testing centers, which will be like in Suhar, the opportunity, and as well in Muscat. Here also the requirement are very clear, similar to any business starting in Oman. We need to highlight that the total investment in Oman is total investment for this opportunity can be from 130 to 140 $140 million. The land can be up to 100,000 square meters. So expected number of employees for this business is around 300. Also, we have an opportunity to establish a data centers in Oman, where we are like toward the digitizing the government services. The requirement of data centers are boosting. So that's why we are opening this opportunity for investors to establish a data center, tier 3 or classified as 3 or 4 classified data centers. The implementation duration can be up to 12 months. The next one is having like for the satellite ground service as service opportunity, which is like mainly ground services for satellite operators. Also, we have an opportunity for the rocket and launch the sites for the satellites in Oman, where we are aiming to have the rocket sites on Salala as well in Al-Wusta. Also, we have like an opportunity for the satellite and space sectors to have like a manufacturing and assembly of space products and technologies, which is like estimated to be like $28 million. We are aiming from this one to employ 120 workforce estimated. Finally, we have in the artificial intelligence where the trend is, we are aiming also to open an opportunity for the investors who are specialized in the IT sectors in the artificial intelligence to establish a business for large language models, where we are aiming to fit this large language model with data from Oman, like historical data, information related to media, agriculture, all the information which is related to Oman to be for this model and created and be used for the government organizations. Also, we are aiming to have like AI studio, where we have like an excellence center for exchanging the information and knowledge about the artificial intelligence. Thank you very much for all of you, and hope that you are ending your day with great opportunities in Oman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. And now we'll move to the next speaker, Mr. Musallam bin Saeed Al-Harthi, Assistant Investment Manager at the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. So may I kindly request him to come to stage. His paper will shed light on the investment opportunities in the food security sector.
وين laser. Okay, I think this is the one. Alaikum warahmatullah. Today we're going to present about food security. Please, security, if there is any foreign investors, please ask them to join in, because I could see the stage almost Omanis more than foreigners. And the whole idea is to present to them what kind of opportunities are available in food security. So, as you can see here, we're talking today about food security, and the government for the last few years has been taking the matter of food security seriously. And unfortunately, I don't have the laser thing, but you can see here in terms of importing, the revenue, the value is almost 2 to 3 times of what export and re-export. These are some of self-sufficiency commodities that we still need some more investment. So as you can see, in terms of milk, we are almost 90%. In terms of tables, eggs, we are 61%. In terms of fruits, which we don't include dates, it's only fruits at almost 26%. And in fisher, we are almost 150%. My colleague previously, they've already gone through the incentives and what kind of opportunities for foreign investment. So I will not go in much details of it, but for us in agriculture sector and food security in general, you can get a land of 50 riyal per acre per year. And if it goes about 100 acres, you pay 5 riyal. So the incentive is very attractive comparing to the other country of the regions. And you will have it the lease 5 years and can be extended as well. And if you have an Omani partner, you can also, we have an agreement to facilitate loans with Oman Development Bank, which you get very minimum interest of almost 3%. Now I will take you through the opportunities, which I believe most of the foreign investors, they came for that. And these opportunities, as we have from the ministry, and also we have our government companies, such as Netaj and FDO. So we'll take you through thoroughly just to know what kind of opportunities are available. And you can approach us later for any further discussion and details. So this in aquaculture, Sharqiyya, we have almost in Dakhiliya as well, which is 9,500 acres. So you can see the numbers are so huge. We have almost over 10 million acres opportunities in Oman. In terms of vegetables as well, these are the numbers that we have. And this is our latest study. In terms of self-sufficiency, when we say self-sufficiency in food security, it means any product that is less than 70%. And these ones are like the one which we're working on it for the 2024, because these products or crops, they're less than 50%. So you can see like onion, it's almost less than 20%. Okay, potato, we are almost 10%. Okay, and garlic as well, around 29%. And these other crops and products that we are looking for. These are other opportunities which are available in other food security sectors partners of the government companies. So you can see that we have camel dairy processing plant. Okay, we have banana production, which is ongoing in south of Oman. Okay, and these are like the projects that are in execution. So if you can see these ones like still in evaluation phase, these project in execution phase. So we have in Ibri, which is a Nama production, and this, if this finish, this project will finish, will be almost 90% self-sufficient in Oman. And we have in Barka, Raisut, Suhar Free Zone, and Salala. These are the projects already in operation. Okay, so you can see that we have Mazoon Dairy, which we all know, guys. Okay, we have Bashair Meat, which is in Thamrait, and also we have Muruj Dairy, which is multiple locations. Okay, so please, if you have any further discussion or details for the details of the project, we can discuss after the presentation. Okay, these are in fish sector, which is FDO. Okay, so we're expanding Loster. We already have the project, and we are thinking of expanding it. We have coastal fleet and modern boats. Okay, and you can see also the estimated project cost. These are some sea cucumber farming, oyster farming. By the way, this kind of opportunities has been increasing a lot in Oman based on the nature of the sea that we have and kind of products that we can have in terms of the quality. These are also the VAP accelerator, fish feed. This fish feed as well, it's very important for us. And we're still looking for more expert opportunities, investors, because now in fish farming, there is a lot of fish farming growing up projects. These, I think I will take it quickly, but I think we've already discussed it before with my other colleagues in terms of Oman and Ministry of Agriculture. And we also have a platform which is owned by the Ministry of Housing, where we also announce our opportunities of food security opportunities in terms of specific crops and also free lands for you to decide what kind of project to do. And definitely government companies, you know, Nitaj and FDO, and also Invest Oman, which one of my colleagues already presented it. This, I think, would be a bit attractive for the foreign investors just to see how Oman serious in terms of food security. As you all know that mainly foreigners, they see Oman as oil and gas country, and it's a GCC country, so it's not that much attractive in terms of agriculture and fishery, special agriculture. So what we've been doing that the ministry has started, which is called Food Security Lab Journey. We started in 2017, the first food security, and was only in fishery sector to see what kind of opportunities and how to improve these sectors. And it was a very successful lab, which was almost for 2 weeks. We end up with almost around 80 business opportunities, which worth almost around 556 million Omani riyal. And then after that, on 2021, the ministry also decided again to go for the second food security, but this time, because the 2017, it was almost like a trial. The 2021, it was mainly in food security in general. So from fishery, watery, to agriculture, animals. And during this, it was bigger than the previous one because of the sectors available and also other departments and ministries as well. So in food security, what actually we do a preparation like say 6 to 10 months before the food. And what we do is we sit with investors, okay? We sit with foreign investors. We know what kind of challenges they're facing in Oman, what kind of opportunities available in Oman. And then we prepare like a proper workshop that the whole point of the food security lab is to close the projects and the challenges. So for example, a foreign investor, let's say he comes to Oman and he wants to do agriculture, let's say farming of mango. And he has been given a land, and that land maybe didn't have water or it wasn't suitable. And he has been up and down, going up and down through the Ministry of Housing to Ministry of Labor to different ministry, and it took him time. So we bring him during the 2 weeks where we bring all the ministers, all the ministry, all associated people in one area. So we, like the way here, so we divide it into areas like challenges room and opportunity room, investment room. And then we discuss and we ask the problems to be solved during that 2 weeks. So end of the 2 weeks, we have a ceremony of announcing what kind of opportunities has been solved, how many investment has been done. So I didn't go in much details here, but that's the whole point of the food security. It's more of, you can say, an accelerator of opportunities. So after 2021, what happened is by 2022, because the whole point is before one lab to another, the previous lab should be closed, all the opportunities and the challenges. But what happened, because the food security, the 2021, it was more of in all sectors, not only fishery. So we had a lot of challenges to close a couple of items. So we decided to do a clinic, okay, in 2022 before going for another lab. And the point of the clinic is to look at what has been done in 2021 and what are the challenges that we could not manage to close. And then after that, we went last year, around October, for the third food security lab. And by the way, we're going to have another one this year by October. Okay? Welcome to Oman, and looking forward for your investments, guys. Okay? Please, if there is any clarification, any discussion, let us know. We're at the backside with my team as well.
check. Thank you, Mr. Musallam Al-Harthi. Mr. Mohammed Jawad, Business Development Manager at OQ Energy, to present his paper on the investment opportunities within the renewable energy sector.
Good afternoon, everyone. Here in this presentation today, I would like to highlight on the potential opportunities in the alternative energy sector and highlight a bit more about OQ Alternative Energy. OQ is an Oman national integrated company. We invest in across the value chain, energy value chain, starting from upstream oil exploration and production, downstream gas network, as well as alternative energy, which has been like recently established in the year 2020 to invest in the renewable energy and green hydrogen. So, as you may be aware, that the Omani government committed to achieve net zero by 2050, and hence why OQ Alternative Energy has been established to fulfill this commitment. OQ Alternative Energy has mainly 4 pillars. It's decarbonization and strategy, where we set all the decarbonization strategies for the entire OQ assets. Energy excellence, we focus to implement energy efficiency efforts for to reduce the energy intensity in all OQ assets. Clean energy, where we develop renewables, mainly solar and wind, to transmit from the conventional fossil fuel to renewable energy. And finally, we have low carbon molecules, where we produce its derivatives. Here I would highlight about the projects that we developing at this stage in clean energy. Mainly, we have been appointed by the Omani government to be a national champion in clean energy. We look into the projects with 50 megawatts and higher, mainly to create energy for oil and gas concessions, as well as the big industries. We have currently, I would highlight about more of the projects. We have Liwa Solar Power Plant, B60 solar plant in Sohar. We have Amin project. We will work with other international partners, which is the only operational plant at this stage. We also has been like committed to invest in the green hydrogen. Recently, His Majesty in his visit to Singapore mentioned that the government of Oman is working toward being a hydrogen hub, green hydrogen hub. So the government of Oman established a company called Hydrum to facilitate this sector back in 2022. And then Hydrum allocated 20,000 kilometers per project to produce a minimum of 150,000 tons of green hydrogen per annum. Omani government has a target to produce 1 million ton of green hydrogen by the end of 2030. You can see here in different colors, different zones where Hydrum started. Already zone 1 has been done in the year 2023, where 6 projects have been already awarded. At this stage, a projects award process is going on in Salalah, zone 2, and then different zones will be coming with time. OQ Alternative Energy has a backing right to step into these green hydrogen projects anytime from the award by Hydrum till the commercial operation. On the right-hand side, you can see different projects, which we call it legacy projects, that has been already initiated prior the formation of Hydrum. Hence why these projects with international partners are going on. The first one, in the first session, one of my colleagues highlighted it in Duqm Free Zone. It's Hyper Duqm. It's an investment with the Belgian partner, DEME. We have also green hydrogen, green energy Oman, where we have partners with Intercontinental Energy of Kuwait and Shell. And also this project will be this, which aims to have 25 gigawatt project, which will be the biggest green hydrogen project in Oman. Last but not least, and the project that we have in Salalah, it's called Salalah H2. It's a consortium that involves OQ, the Japanese Marubeni, Dotco from UAE, as well as Samsung CNT. The projects I highlighted in the previous slide was mainly selecting the green ammonia as a derivative from green hydrogen, yet we thought that we need to look after different derivatives in order to diversify our portfolio. Hence why in the business development team, we have been looking to different business development initiatives. First of all, green hydrogen for mobility. We have signed an agreement with Asiad, Air Liquide, Oman Oil Marketing, and the Ministry of Transportation to invest on a small-scale pilot here in Oman in order to test the concept of producing green hydrogen before the FID of the mega project that I highlighted in the previous slide. Currently, we aim that this pilot to be operational by beginning of 2026, and the produced green hydrogen will be utilized in the mobility sector in the area of Duqm. Also, we have signed memorandum of cooperation with Asiad, Sumitomo Corporation, and Maersk to deep dive more on utilizing e-methanol and e-ammonia for a bunkering purpose. Here in Oman, we aim to be a hub for bunkering of vessels, mainly in Salalah. As you know, that many international shipping firms have been already ordered their vessels that are fueled by e-methanol. Hence why we are investigating to link e-methanol in with one of our projects in Salalah. We also signed a cooperation agreement with civil aviation here in Oman and Sky Energy. Sky Energy is a company from Netherlands that have a couple of investments in sustainable aviation fuel, and also the e-fuel, eSAF, that takes the that combines both green hydrogen and biogenic CO2 to produce the fueling for aircrafts. Last but not least, we are in cooperation with Nama Water, be a company, Marafiq, to test and check the availability of biogenic CO2 here in Oman. Biogenic CO2 is one of the main feedstock that should combine with green hydrogen to produce eSAF as well as e-methanol and different e-fuels. So yeah, this is overall what we are working on, and if you have any question or you would like to approach, I'll be more than happy to respond after this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed Jawad. And now we'll move to the next speaker within this session, Dr. Dipesh Shah, Executive Director of the IFSCA Gift City. He will join us online via Zoom platform, and his paper will shed light on the business opportunities for professionals and financial institutions at Gift IFSC, India's maiden international financial center. So join me to welcome Dr. Dipesh Shah. He will join us via Zoom platform. Dr. Dipesh, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I hope that I am audible to the audience there.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. At the outset, I must thank the organizers for having the Gift City International Financial Services Center for this interaction. And my personal compliments to the way this whole summit has been organized, and including the agenda of the International Financial Services Center for deliberation today.
Thank you, Dr. Dipesh.
I'm going to share the copy of my presentation. So give me a minute to put my screen, which will show you the presentation. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. I understand that I have 15 minutes and I'm trying to cover the slides which are most important for the audience here. So in terms of the way the International Financial Services Center initiative has been taken by the Government of India in Gift City, Gandhinagar, provides an opportunity for a lot of centers in a lot of countries outside to connect with the India opportunity much more efficiently. What is trying to be done today, and probably for the Oman-based institutions, I think it will be one of the kind of opportunity to see what you can do through Gift City in terms of the India investments. And today I'm going to cover some of the slides which will give you an idea as to how this financial center is emerging as a good connect for the international investors and the institutions to use this platform to invest into India. As you can see, the vision for India at 100 or 2047 has been very well articulated and laid down by the Government of India through the Honorable Prime Minister of India. And if you see the numbers, which are very staggering in terms of the way the India growth story is emerging, you can clearly see that India will need close to USD 10 trillion to meet the net zero commitments by 2070. And we do see that a lot of this funding is going to come from the external sources outside India. And that's where the financial center on a platform which has been set up in the GIFT City, Gandhinagar, for the international investors, becomes an important gateway. What the International Financial Services Center in GIFT City, India does, it's an offshore center within onshore India. So you have a zone physically located in India, which has been for more practical purposes declared, just like what you have the concept of the special economic zone. This is a special economic zone for financial services. And here the players from India and outside can support efficiently. In terms of the center, this is a coming up on a city concept. The gift city, as the name suggests, is an integrated smart city which is spread over now 3,200 acres of land area and provides an opportunity to undertake both financial and IT services along with several other initiatives on the technology and financial services side. In terms of the vision which was laid out by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, similar to any other zone in India, and other is the Special Economic Zone, which has been notified as an International Financial Services Center. And this International Financial Services Center, as I just mentioned, is an offshore zone within onshore India. What government has done recently is it has brought in several regulations here to make it this as a zone where you have a separate unified regulator. So many of you who are aware of the India financial structure, India is now two zones. One is the domestic zone of India, where we have domestic regulators in the name form of Reserve Bank of India, Securities Exchange Board of India, and the insurance regulator. Whereas the international zone now have only one unified financial regulator called International Financial Services Center Authority. And this was set up in the year 2020, which is that it has a period of last 3 years. Most of the businesses it has enabled. How does this differentiate zone from the rest of dollar, bond, GBP? All are allowed to be operated within the IFFC zone. And from a tax side, this is considered as in India, but a lot of tax incentives have been offered for the entities to operate here. And thereby gives them a similar competitive advantage to operate onshore in the GIFT IFFC zone. In terms of its development, as I just mentioned, in the year 2020, government set up the India's first unified regulator for the IFFC zone. And in last 3 years, several other regulations and the business have been enabled in the IFFC zone. So in terms of operations now, this gives a great advantage to the institutions in Oman to consider having access to India, also utilize the benefit of the low cost of operations within the IFFC zone and use this as an investment gateway into Indian ecosystem. What we have enabled in last 3 years is that you can undertake several activities. So suppose you are a institution based in Oman and you want to undertake financial services in any of the segments that you see on the screen. So whether you are a bank, whether you are a capital market entity, whether you are an asset manager, you are an insurance company, or even if you deal into several other products and platforms like bullion exchange, a finance company, fintech companies, they all can come and set up in the International Financial Services Center zone. We do believe that this now opens up a huge opportunity for several institutions based in Oman to consider how they can effectively connect with the opportunity through this financial center into India and the global operations. Several regulations have been issued for the entities to come in, and they are benchmarked in line with the international best practices. So when you operate here, the regulations are more outward looking in terms of the international financial transactions that you carry out. This is a very entities operating in the IFFC zone. 62.8 billion dollar of monthly turnover is happening on the international exchanges there. The banking asset size has already crossed $48 billion now. And several institutions are able to undertake new line of business. So for example, aircraft leasing and ship leasing business, which was not operational in India, have now become operational in the IFFC zone. In terms of the tax, out of 15 years, 10 years tax holiday has been offered to the businesses operating in the IFFC zone. There is no goods and service tax when you undertake international financial services. And there are reduced withholding tax rates available to operate, including the reduced minimum alternate tax rates offered when you're operating in the zone. In terms of the services, in terms of the businesses that one can undertake, you can, as in mid-sized corporates or large-sized corporates, you can undertake several businesses in terms of trade finance, insurance, derivatives, and several other such businesses which can be enabled, has been enabled in the IFFC zone. For the banks, I think this is a great opportunity. I do encourage a lot of Oman-based banking corporation to look at what is happening here. In fact, you can do a lot of international financial services transactions very effectively now through the GIFT City license. You may not need, if you don't need a domestic India license, you can still be in the GIFT City, take the international banking license, provide the services to the Oman-based institutions and individuals to transact through GIFT City. And you can also take the outward business into Oman through GIFT City now. So a lot of banks have started opening their branches in GIFT City. We also have 2 international exchanges. So if you want to invest into Indian market, we have a product called GIFT Nifty, which was earlier termed as the Singapore Nifty, which has now become a GIFT Nifty. So an institutions or individuals who wants to invest into this product, it is available on the international exchange tax-free for them to invest from the markets that you are in. So even from Oman, you can use many of these investment products sitting where you are, and you do not physically be present to transact as a customer on these platforms. Sizable number of funds are coming in. In fact, you may also notice some of the funds like Abu Dhabi Investment Authority have just recently got the approval to set up their sovereign fund in the GIFT City, and they will invest into India through GIFT City. We are also in discussion with the several other sovereign funds, including the PIF and the others, to consider and having their base in the IFFC zone. So I'll encourage Oman-based sovereign funds to actively consider looking at this opportunity for investing into India, which is much more closer as a financial center. We have a large ecosystem of funds now. In fact, we just crossed 100 funds last week, and we have a asset size of $30 billion committed in those funds to invest into India and outside. And sizable number of players are coming in the financial services zone. We also have players in insurance side. If you want to undertake dollar insurance or want to undertake India dollar insurance, you can have an insurance company set up in GIFT, and which gives you an added advantage in terms of taking the premium through the Indian markets rather than availing those businesses from outside. On the aircraft leasing and ship leasing, I'll encourage all of you to have a deeper look at what the opportunity is emerging. As you are aware that Indian Airlines have already placed 2,000 aircraft ordered. We are current size of 700 aircraft, and these are all we will be required to be financed through lease, operating lease or finance lease model. And this is now started happening from the GIFT City. So if you are an Oman-based large financial institution, or you want to be in the business of leasing, this could be a great opportunity for all of you to consider in terms of what has been enabled in these 2 segments. If you are a fintech company in Oman and you are not sure whether you want to come into domestic India, you can still be in the GIFT City based in Oman. You can still open a sandbox entity in GIFT. You do not come physically inside GIFT City, and you can test your products from the financial services perspective. And this gives a great advantage for a lot of overseas institutions to test their products for India market without coming physically on India onshore. So I'll also encourage all of you to have a look at what is happening on the fintech side opportunities. Considering the time being constrained, I'm just trying to give you an overview of the slides. My slides will be available with the Institute of Chartered Accountants there, and they will be able to share all the slides with you. In the sustainable finance, India has a huge opportunity been unfolded. And if you are in institutions which are financing infrastructure, you're financing green bonds, if you are undertaking green financing, consider GIFT as a great opportunity for you to avail those opportunities to invest into India. And the advantage for you is you are not bound by the domestic Indian law. When you come to GIFT, you will also see now India's first international branch campus of a foreign university been set up by two Australian universities, and we have just opened the doors for the foreign universities to come and set up into India onshore into GIFT City for the international branch campuses. One area which I think the Oman has a very strong chartered accountants based, and we have opened up an ancillary or professional service provider regime whereby chartered accountant firms or a professional firms based in Oman can actually license to advise the Oman based institutions and also the India based institutions to invest outside while sitting in the GIFT International Financial Services Center zone. So this is also an important enabler where a lot of institutions from outside can avail and provide financial services, professional financial services through this zone. We have signed a cooperation with several regulatory authorities. We have signed with DIFC, we have signed with Abu Dhabi, we have signed with Qatar Financial Center Authority, we have signed with Luxembourg, Sweden, Singapore, and we are in process of signing such cooperation with several other regulators, including the Oman-based regulators in the financial services. My last two slides, I think the NRIs, the non-resident Indians and the foreigners can now look at investing into India in a much more efficient way through the opportunity at GIFT City, because by sitting in your home location, you can very well now invest in dollar terms, you can invest in foreign currency based and still not worry about the conversion cost and the taxes on what you are investing into. With this, I thank the organizers for having us today on this call and allowing us to present an opportunity in GIFT City. I also take this opportunity to invite all of you to GIFT City when you are next in Gujarat, and it will be our pleasure to host all of you in GIFT City for understanding how these opportunities can help you as an Oman-based institutions to expand into several new avenues and areas which are available in India onshore now with the GIFT City project. I thanks the organizer and thank you for your patient listening today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dibesh, for your presentation. And now we will proceed for 15 minutes Q&A session on the presented themes. May I request, kindly request Mr. Muhammad Jawad, Dr. Muhammad Al-Rawahi, Mr. Musallam Al-Harthi, and Mr. Amit Kumar on behalf of Dr. Dibesh to come to stage to answer any queries or questions raised by the audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, raise your hand. Kindly also mention your name and also direct your question to someone by mentioning the name of this speaker. Any questions? Any query? It seems that we don't have any question. Yes, we have one question at the very, please give him the mic. And also we have another question here at this side of the hall. The mic.
Thank you very much. I have just a general question. My name is Nader Al-Rawahi. For the sake of our investors from India, I would like to ask the panel, what are the key incentives that will attract the investors to come to Oman and not to the other countries? Thank you very much.
thank you for putting up a relevant question. Before that, seeing the audience, I was assuming our teachers used to say that if there are some questions or not, there may be two things. If the questions are not coming, it looks like nobody have understood anything. And if the questions are coming very slowly, it is an understanding that everybody have understood everything. So yes, there are lots and big opportunities which the GIFT IFSCA is being provided. As Dipesh ji have told, that there are 4 regulators, that is SEBI, RBI, insurance and pension. These 4 regulators have been merged, and a new act in 2020 came as GIFT IFSCA, and it's a special economic zone of India. Out of the 15 years, 10 years, there would no taxes of income tax, any indirect taxes like GST, no capital gain tax. You name the tax and it is not there for 10 years. This is the beauty of this SEZ. And one more beauty is, it is not that it's for investments in India. Anyone looking forward to do investments globally can incorporate an entity there and can do inbound and outbound investments through there. And whatever returns that investments made, that is absolutely tax-free. And these investments made only through an alternative investment funds. They could be made through leasing. They could be made through banking. They could be made through insurance. So there are 30 financial activities which are there through which these investments could be made nationally and internationally. In addition to it, just on 12th January, Honorable Finance Minister in Dubai, and there's a huge announcement by various governments across the world to create a climate change finance. Now, India, the GIFT IFSCA, have created an initiative to create a stock exchange towards that finance. All the money across the world can be pooled in that SCZ and can be invested across the world. Yeah. I hope
that's a very good answer. I know, I appreciate that. What does the Indian government do to encourage outward investments from India? But my question is, because I'm speaking, maybe I'm trying to speak out on behalf of our Indian investors and colleagues, what is the Oman government doing in giving incentives to attract the Indian investor to come to Oman, not to other neighboring countries?
Yes, I think I will just add, and maybe my colleagues also will add on it. In terms of incentives that Oman, we have a lot of incentives, but I think it has been rightly said before with the previous panel, is the marketing part of it, which we need as a country to work on. In terms of food security, we have a lot of incentives, such is 550 riyal per acre per annum, which is you don't get anywhere in the region this kind of incentives. You get residents staying in Oman for the 10 years. You have the lease of almost 25 years. So these are more the incentives that we have in terms of food security. So maybe my colleagues will add in others. And also you have a free zone that you can have 100% ownership of the project as well. So.
Yes, and from the ICT sector also, the government is opening their hands for welcoming investment from international to Oman. And for that, because of the ICT nature, it is a dynamic and keep changing very fast, and it is advancing. So all projects will be treated like a case by case, on top of the incentives that is already announced by the other entities. What you call this one, the IT or technology related initiatives or investors are treated like a file and case by case.
In the alternative energy sector, I think Omani government is one of the quite few government around the world that really took a serious steps toward moving seriously to the net zero promises. For example, as I mentioned in the presentation, creation of or formation of Hydrogen Oman, and finishing the phase 1 award of lands to produce green hydrogen in Toqom, and more or less very closely to close phase 2 in Salalah. We evaluated the process, and we realized that there is a good demand and interest from international investors worldwide to come and invest in these mega projects, which shows that there is an interest in Oman, and the government is taking really a very good and serious steps to that. Thank you.
Someone raised his hand. Yes, over here, please. The mic. We need the mic over there.
My name is Mohanty. My question is, you saw the advantage of GIFT City investment of financial sector in GIFT City. For example, Bank Muscat here, NBO, they come to GIFT City, you narrated all the tax benefits will be there. But my question is whether there is a DTTS sign, because Bank Muscat, for example, their income will be tax-free there. But as a global income, they have to pay here in Oman. Similarly, for JP Morgan also, the global income, it will be paid in US. Do you have signed any DTTA agreement with them?
So as of now, there is no double taxation agreement which is being signed. It would be as in routine is it there as of now. So whatever incomes have been generated at the SEZ, that is absolutely tax-free. The country in which the incomes have been earned, that would be taxed as the country allows.
Okay. So what is the benefit of, like, for example, Bank Muscat come to GIFT City and land there, bearing the tax benefit over there? What other benefits you are offering?
So first and foremost, the benefit of being global from a point of contact would going to become. Second benefit is the cost-effective capital which is available in terms of the land. The pricing, if we go to Singapore or London or US, setting up the operations there may be many-fold higher than as setting up an organization there at GIFT City. The knowledge pool which is available in terms of cost-effectiveness, if as said by me, like maybe in Tokyo or US, Singapore, if we try to pool up the knowledge pool, the cost of that knowledge pool could be many folds. So these are some of the advantages. There are many more advantages, but these are the first two basic advantages which immediately any of the organization which is coming there is getting. And undoubtedly, like coming there, setting up with zero taxation, no additional cost, it's undoubtedly a benefit. In Hindi we say sone pe suhaga. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Another question, yes.
Yeah. My question will be same what Mr. Gentleman has asked, but little extended. This is regarding agriculture or especially in poultry. If the foreign investor wanted to come here, and what are the like subsidized or local government support or maybe a government partnership? What are the things specifically into poultry industry if someone wants to come here?
So I think you talked about poultry, just correct. Yes, kind of support that we have is you can come as a foreign FDI, and also you can have a local partner. One of the supports that we accelerate as a ministry, we have our government companies, such as, for this case will be Nitaj, that can join venture with you, okay, but it depends based after studying the project. And also we have, as I said before, the Oman Development Bank, if you have a local partner, which you can have a loans as well.
For poultry, it's mandatory to have the local partner, or can we have a independent investment?
It depends on the details of it. Then we can decide.
Okay, it seems that we will stop here as we will move to the next session. So thank you, gentlemen, for your time and efforts.
Just one thing, please. He said something in India which we didn't get it. So we say in Arabic as well, invest in Oman.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, let's now move to the last session of this forum, which will explore the investment opportunities in the manufacturing industries, tourism and health sectors. It's my pleasure now to invite Mr. Warqa bin Farzin Al-Lawati, Investment Marketing Executive at the Oman National Program for Investment and Export Development Program, Nazdahir. His paper will shed light on Oman, the next great investment destination. The floor is yours. Sorry for this technical issue. May I request now the second speaker in this session, Mr. Mohammed bin Murtada Al Isa, Head of Planning and Corporate Communications at Umran Group, to present his paper on the investment opportunities in the tourism sector. Mr. Mohammed.
Right. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Good afternoon, everyone. Right. I don't know how much it serves me right, knowing that I'm probably the only thing standing between you and lunch right now. Bless you and bless myself. And I'm going to try to do something different right now, and this is completely up to you guys. But I know I'm safe because I'm in the presence of the gurus of yoga and the gurus of energy releasers. If I can ask everybody to just stand up for a while for me, just, and shake it off right now. Release the energy, right? Out, 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 out. Let's go, let's go. There we go. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. You feel good? All right, let's go. Thank you very much. Shukran. Right, my name is Mohammed Al Isa. I'm the Chief Corporate Planning and Communication Officer at Oman Tourism Development Company at Umran. And today, I would like to tell you peace, beauty, and opportunity. Now, I've been listening to a couple of presentations this morning, and I know that we've been seeing a lot of numbers and a lot of statistics and a lot of data. Let's change things a little bit, right? Let's put it in a bit of a story. So I'd like to actually, with your permission, start with these three stories. As soon as my clicker actually ends up working. Am I pointing in the right direction, guys? There we go. And I'll start with the story of peace. Can you guys guess what this image is? A ship. Anything else? A dhow. Excellent. This is an image of a dhow. It's called the Jewel of Muscat. It was inspired by a 9th century wreckage that was found in the Indonesian waters. They found treasures worth more than 60,000 pieces of a ship that was sunk, and they couldn't make sure whether it was a boat going or coming from the Middle East to the Far East. But when they traced it, they realized that it was coming from a destination most known for boat building. And so the instruction came to rebuild a dhow and continue the journey that never got continued, but with the same specifications of the 9th century wreckage. 60,000 stitches of rope and wood, not a single nail. This dhow actually journeyed in 2010 when it went from Muscat, and it basically traced down the Silk Route with all the destinations that we have and still have the most friendliest relationships with. I had the privilege in being in this dhow when they were doing the tri-sailing, when it was raining, and there was no certain technology in the dhow. In navigation, they used the traditional camel device, which is basically a piece of wood with a rope in the middle trying to see the North Star every single night. They had chicken on board, they had goats on board. I don't know, for those who are vegetarian, I don't know what they had, but I mean, they really tried to live the life of the 9th century sailors. And I remember when we launched this ship, I was personally very privileged to be part of this project. And I asked His Excellency Sayyid Badr, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, I heard a journalist asking him, Your Excellency, is this to sort of establish relationships with the Indian Ocean countries? He said, no, our relationships have always been strong. This is to further highlight the strong relationships that we already have. And this dhow went to India, to Malaysia, and then it went to Sri Lanka, Malaysia, to Singapore, and it got in a museum in Singapore. And I remember when I was in India, receiving the dhow for this first port, we were actually welcomed by a school in Cochin, beautiful country, I mean, not beautiful country, beautiful place of country in India. It's the first time I've been in Cochin, and people keep telling me that Omanis are friendly. I tell them, go to Cochin. It's the most friendliest people I've ever met. And I remember we were actually in a school, and we were greeted and received by children from a school who drew these images of us as a crew of the dhow. Can you identify this guy right here? That was me when I was younger, all right, without the white beard. And I wanted to share this because this memory stuck with me. And it reminded me that every generation that comes, it just shows us that business relationships aside, the human relationship that we have, the cultural relationship that we have between Oman and India still go on to become just from heights to heights. And it's something that I hold very, very dear to my heart, and which is why I'm very privileged to be presenting in front of you all. And this is basically the positioning of Oman. Oman has always been known for its seafaring nation. It's been the center of everyone. It has been connecting the Arabian Peninsula with the Indian Ocean. It has been a country rich in history, culture, with diverse landscape, authentic, safe, peaceful, and emerging as a hub for ecotourism and adventure. A bit of statistics on the tourism strategy. Oman is targeting about 11.7 million people and tourists by 2040. We are to provide about 800,000 jobs, and we are creating more and more investment opportunities in